The Ebbinghaus forgetting curve is a real thing. The harsh reality is your participants are going to forget most of the information you shared within a very short period of time at the end of your training session. Now, certainly if you don't use adult learning styles and some of the techniques we recommend here at No Boring Training, your amount of information they retain in the first place is going to be very low. But the harsh reality is whatever little bit of information they've retained is likely to be gone within a short period of time. So here, my friends, are some tips on how to prevent the forgetting curve from unraveling all of your hard work. At the end of your training session, have an email queued up and scheduled to send right at the end of your session within a couple hours that has bullet points of all the key need-to-know topics, some PDFs, PowerPoints, infographics, some of the collateral that you shared during your training, but really use that email to quickly drive home the key need-to-know points of your session. Within a short period of time at the end of your session, you could use a short quiz, not only to measure what they've retained from the original session, but again, serve as a bit of a reminder cycle to fight back against that forgetting curve. In that quiz, of course, you're going to ask questions keyed in on the key need-to-know topics. Using a video like this is another great way to fight back against the forgetting curve. Within 3 to 4 days, maybe 5 days of the end of your session, you could have a quick 30-second, minute-long video at the most that really hits home on whatever those key talking points are. A quick little video is a great way to fight back against that forgetting curve and keep those reminder cycles going. If the behavior you're trying to overcome is deeply entrenched or the skill gap you're trying to overcome is quite large, you might think about doing a little quick refresher session within a week, maybe 2 of the end of your original session. Keep it much shorter. Utilize it to follow up on who's implemented the techniques that you've suggested, who's using the training that you provided, answer any sort of questions, use that as a way to address and diagnose anything that maybe they didn't quite grasp in the first go-around. But again, it's a way to remind them and reinforce and really drive home, hey, this is important information, we need to bring it up. Internal podcasts can be a great way to reinforce a classroom-based training session. Have a training session, say, on a Monday, and then maybe that following Friday you have an internal directed podcast that really deep dives into whatever that subject is. In that podcast, maybe you get into a little bit of need to know, maybe you give some practical examples, but the major theme of the course, driving home those need to know points. You can even schedule emails sequenced out over a period of several days and weeks after your session, so they're getting this constant reinforcement, maybe 2 or 3 or 4 times, again to augment the material that you've learned in the original session, to reinforce it, to build on it, never really straying from the key need-to-know topics, but just kind of gently reinforcing them. So there's a whole bunch of ways to fight back against that Ebbinghaus forgetting curve. The reality is they're going to forget most of it. And if you just do a one-and-done session and that's the last time you ever talk about that topic, I guarantee you they're only going to retain a very small percentage of the material in the first place, and even that small percentage of material they retained is likely to be gone within a day or 2. What do you do in your organization to prevent the forgetting curve from unraveling all of your hard training efforts? Let me know in the comments down below.